What's up, dudes? Inglewood here from Killing Esports, and we're live casting a game tonight, a PvP on Shakuris Plateau. Starting out in the top right corner, the Sky Blue Protoss, a favorite of this channel, FSlasher. And he's squaring off against the green Protoss in the northwest corner, Jonas. Both Masters players, both Protosses, both here on Shakuris with me, Inglewood. My co-caster Snurdaperds could not be here tonight because unfortunately he's getting rectal surgery. We see a little bit of banter coming out of these guys, but I think they don't actually know each other. So we haven't cast a game like all week long. I've been sick, and Snurdaperds has been having an endless chain of surgeries. He's had Botox, and he's had a tummy tuck, and other shit. It's Halloween time, so we've all been drinking heavily. We're drinking heavily tonight. And this map sucks for whatever FSlasher is doing, but he's probably going to win regardless. Both players just doing the normal thing right now. No, like, instant 4-base or anything like that. What else is new with us here? I got a computer chair finally. So I'm casting this in the comfort of a computer chair. Before, I've been sitting on a big pile of scrap metal and logs with nails sticking out of them. So it's a nice upgrade for me. Oh, I feel like I sound really nasally still. What else has been happening? Not a whole lot. A couple of gateways and a couple of gases coming down. Both players doing the same intros so far. Little scouting action going to be coming out of here from Slasher. It looks as though Jonas not quite reaching the spot yet. Doesn't know what's going on. He's going to poke his head inside of Slasher's base right now and see what's happening. And he's going to see standard shit. We're going to see what Slasher was hinting towards as far as his build. He might be going carriers. We've seen him go carriers in the past to try and be funny. I don't know that Shakuris would be a particularly bad map for carriers, as he was saying. He might have just been bluffing. Second gateway now coming down for FSlasher. Warp gate technology being researched by both players. And couple of probes just gonna be wandering around, keeping eyes on things, making sure nothing funny happens. We're seeing some stalkers being pushed out. Looks like Jonas is actually gonna spend a chrono on his. Try and get that probe out of his base a little quicker, but it's already gone. And so the stalker's gonna pop out and make sure that he's not hanging around. I don't know what ITT is. I see it all the time. I feel like I should probably just look it up right now. No, not ITT Technical Institute. Fuck. The Institute of Travel and Tourism? Probably not that. Where's the frickin' Urban Dictionary? The Online Slang Dictionary. That will work. In this thread? Alright. I guess that kind of makes sense. What was the... In this thread, bad Protoss, whatever, talking about me. Yeah, okay. Not sure how I feel about that. So 3 stalkers now coming out for FSlasher. We're going to see if he's going to do a little bit of Protoss, or a little bit of Protoss. A little bit of aggression. Oh, fuck, I need to drink some more. What's back at home for Jonas? A couple of stalkers himself and a sentry starting to build up some energy. Do we see any tech coming out of these guys? Yeah, Robo came up in the meantime for Jonas, and he's getting out an OBS. Robo is also on the way for FSlasher to get knobs of his own, or maybe some immortals. Looks like he might actually be preparing for an expand here. Yes, he is. So he's going to drop down another Nexus. And boom! He's the first one to commit to second base. And we've got a Warp Prism on the way out of Jonas. So he wants to do a little bit of drop harass or something like that. Oh god, I'm getting text messages. How unprofessional. So what do we got? 5 stalkers here. There's no proxies out on the map. Yeah, there's one little proxy way down here for Jonas. But that's not really what I'm looking for. I was expecting FSlasher to have a proxy out somewhere if he was going to use these 5 stalkers to actually do something, but maybe they're just defensive. Here we go. 5 stalkers and a probe going to move out so that probe can throw down some proxies. Expansion coming down for Jonas as well. A little bit late, about halfway through construction of the Nexus for FSlasher. So all things told, pretty much even here. Evil even. It's evenly evil. Do we see that warp prism doing anything here? No? Where's that warp prism at? It did pop out, right? Let's take a look at the units tab. No. No warp prism. So maybe that was canceled. Okay. FSlasher getting 2 Stargates now, so it looks like maybe that threat of carriers that he told me before this game started was in fact legitimate. We see a good amount of gateway units being pushed out here from Jonas. He's going to sit down at the bottom of the ramp of his opponent and look for maybe a little push in. Observer catches the enemy observer here, so Jonas lost his eyes in the sky, so he won't have vision on this ramp now, and he's actually going to have to push up here the old school way by sacrificing a zealot, which just gets melted right away. 1 force field comes down to try and create a little bit of a choke here, so good force field from FSlasher, and it looks like Jonas is just going to be content to sit this out for the time being. Couple of Phoenix on the way for FSlasher. Getting Phoenix out of his Stargates. So, excuse me. We'll see if he's going to be pushing across the map with those. Maybe adding on a 3rd. He's actually going to add on 2 more. So he's going to get 4 Phoenix up. And maybe do some harass with those. They don't actually look like they're going anywhere for the moment. But 2 Phoenix is really not that powerful. Once you get 4, they're actually in really good shape. So we'll see what he can do with those. Looks like Colossus Tech is going to be the order from Jonas. He's throwing down his Robo Bay. And I can't imagine that's going to be for the Warp Prism upgrade, since, maybe it is, because he's actually building another Warp Prism. So we'll see if he commits. It could be both, of course. It could be a little bit of Warp Prism harass in the background with Colossus being thrown into the main army. But only time will tell there. 2 more Phoenix on the way for FSlasher. He's going to be sitting at 7 all told. 8 all told. So he'll be in really good shape with that. That's going to be just a ton of graviton lifting energy. So he should be pretty well free to rape an entire mineral line if Jonas isn't prepared for that. And it looks like he's actually being defensive against drops, but there's no drops coming out of FSlasher. The Warp Prism is loaded up with 2 Immortals. We're going to see a double Immortal drop coming out of Jonas, and that could be pretty strong. Where's he going to rally this guy to? Nowhere. Nowhere right away. Okay then, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. Bit of a ground army coming out with all these Phoenix here for FSlasher. Looks like supply is still about even at about 90 apiece. Jonas rallied around here to dump right inside the mineral line, and down those Immortals are going to go. We'll see if he can actually pick off some buildings or if he's going after workers. Looks like workers. No, he changes his mind. He wants to depower these 2 Stargates. 1 down, but these Phoenix are going to pop out, so Jonas is going to know exactly what's happening here, and they are just going to melt down that Warp Prism. So those Immortals are going nowhere fast, and they get lifted off and just shredded. So that's a big loss there for Jonas. And at the bottom of his Natural Expansion's ramp, there's a bit of an army here from FSlasher, who is temporarily supply blocked. But look where he's at. He's actually ahead by a couple of supply with a few Immortals, some sentries, and a bunch of Stalkers on the ground with a whole shitload of Phoenix above that. So the Phoenix are going to drop this Colossus immediately, and we see them squaring off here on the ramp. All the Phoenix supplying vision, of course, to FSlasher's units at the bottom. So they can see everything. That way the ramp is not really a hindrance to that army. But, oh, he's not microing these sentries at all, or Phoenix at all. They're just sitting there and getting picked off. And now they're going to fly back in over the cannons and take just a ton of unnecessary damage. I don't know where he was putting his attention, but it obviously wasn't on this army. He's continuing to make more Phoenix. They've got a ton of energy, and now that Jonas has seen them, he's obviously going to be prepared for this. He's got cannons down in the mineral line. He's got a Colossi in the mineral line. The natural mineral line is not cannoned up, but the top of the ramp is, so it's pretty well squared away here. And he's going to come back in for another one. 2 more Immortals and a few Zealots and just a ton of Phoenix going to pick these units up and try and knock them down. It looks like just about 5 shots this Colossus here. And more Phoenix are being rallied in to start picking up and just destroying the enemy army. But there is a little too much here to defend, and he will be pushed away. Proxy Pylon down here for supporting unit warp-ins from FSlasher. But he now finds himself down about 14 supply. So we'll see what he plans to do to bounce back from this. I think his Phoenix card, I mean, it had good potential, but I think it's pretty much been blocked now. This has been too much time. They've been out on the field too long. Jonas knows what they are. He knows how many he's got. He knows how much of a commitment that FSlasher has put into them. And so he's pretty well defended against them. FSlasher now going for some Colossus of his own. And we see Jonas is going to take Blink and +2 ground weapons. So he's going to have +2 Blink Stalkers here. Both players on a 3rd base now, or taking a 3rd base. Looks like Slasher dropped his down a little bit earlier, but they'll both come up around the same time. We'll see if they scout each other and try and deny that, or if they just pop up and get to farming. +1 air weapons on the way now for FSlasher. Interesting. I guess that means he's going to be sticking with the Phoenix play despite having that Robo Bay coming down. Adding on a couple more gateways as well. The Phoenix are actually going to come and scout this 3rd base right now. So that is going to be discovered. And we'll see what he pulls off the line or warps in to come and deny that 3rd base. Big push coming out of Jonas now. Going to knock out this nearby proxy pylon. And the big cloud of Phoenixes are in the area. They're watching this army move out. So we'll see what Slasher wants to throw down to defend against this. We see he's double pumping Colossus out. So they should be just about ready. They are being chronoed. So they should be just about ready by the time Jonas hits the bottom of this ramp here. And we'll see if that's enough to defend. 2 Colossus for Jonas, but I think that's probably money wasted when you look at how many Phoenix there are. All this anti-air here is just going to be extremely devastating to the Colossus. So looks like Jonas is actually going to pull back for the moment. No, he's just kind of wandering around back and forth through the middle of the map, seeing what he can see. Maybe a little bit nervous to commit to this. If he can get a good engagement here while the Phoenix are away, he'll actually do a ton of damage, and that would be a really strong attack for Jonas. But here we go. The Colossi engage one another. Actually, no Colossus for Slasher here, just Immortals. So these Immortals are going to get melted down while the Phoenix takes shots trying to knock down these Colossus, but they don't, and Slasher GG's out. So good game here from Jonas. The first time we've seen him here on Killing Esports, and he pulls a win off of our resident champion Slasher. So well played, Jonas. Nicely done. This has been Inglewood. I'll catch you guys next time.